Dr. Alyssa Eli is a psychiatrist, and up until a couple of years ago, she would write an occasional op-ed piece in the Boston Globe. And I recall one piece that she wrote which is pertinent to the theme of the second Sunday after Easter, namely faith. And what does it mean to believe? We have the story of the doubting Thomas, who would not believe until he had seen the risen Lord. Well, the article that Dr. Eli wrote was about a young man who had been off cocaine for about 6 months. He was living in a sober house and working in the kitchen. But sometimes he was moody and irritable. And the doctor was looking for some medication to put him on to ease the symptoms. He was on medication when he was in prison, but had no record as to what it was. So she was trying different things with him. As the doctor talked to him, and she was amazed that he was so calm and accepting of his situation. So she asked him, "What keeps you going?" And he responded, "Nothing but God." On his way out, the patient asked the psychiatrist, "What about you? How were you raised? What do you believe in?" The psychiatrist paused and simply said, "I have great respect for people who believe." She really didn't answer the question. And the young man paused and said to her, "I'll pray for you." The psychiatrist ended her piece by saying, "The words hung in my office air all morning. The young man had nothing, but he did have God. And so we could say he had everything." As we hear the story of the doubting Thomas, we hear the blessing that Jesus gives to people like you and me who have not seen and yet believe. That's not to say that you and I can have some doubts. There's a little bit of the doubting Thomas in all of us. Some days we're stronger than others. And some people were shocked a few years ago when some writings of Mother Teresa of Calcutta were published that indicated that even she had dark days, days that she really kind of doubted her faith. There's always a leap of faith that we have to take. Our reason and logic can take us so far, and then we have to say, do I jump to the land of faith, or do I stay where I am? Faith is not a fragile gift that we put on a table. The Jesuit, Father James Martin, who's actually going to come here to speak this summer, has written a new book called A Jesuit Guide to Almost Everything. And he says that prayer really is like a garden. I had never heard this image before. That a prayer is like a garden where we have soil and seed and water and tools, and we have to work at it. We have to engage it in order for the garden to blossom, for faith to blossom. And it really is a lifelong process that we need to work at developing and cherishing the gift of faith that is ours. Indeed, we listen to Christ say today, "Blessed are you who have not seen and yet believe."